está abierta, aunque no soy digno, te quisiera hablar. Entra, la puerta está abierta, quiero que conmigo vengas a cenar. Entra Cristo Jesús en mi corazón. Quiero que inundes todo con tu presencia. Quiero sentir el amor que nunca tuve, porque no quiero ser igual cuando amanezca. Entra, la puerta está abierta, aunque no soy digno, te quisiera hablar. Entra, la puerta está abierta, quiero que conmigo vengas a cenar. Entra Cristo Jesús en mi corazón. Quiero que inundes todo con tu presencia. Quiero sentir el amor que nunca tuve, porque no quiero ser igual cuando amanezca. Entra Cristo Jesús en mi corazón. Quiero que inundes todo con tu presencia. Quiero sentir el amor que nunca tuve, porque no quiero ser igual cuando amanezca.
Jesús sacramentado,
que viva y en todo sea amado.
Les diste, Señor, el pan del cielo,
que en sí
contiene
todas las delicias. Nos disponemos para las laudes, miércoles de la primera semana, página 62, de jueves de la primera semana. 75. Dios mío, ven mi auxilio.
Señor, date prisa en socorrerme.
Gloria al Padre, al Hijo y al Espíritu Santo,
Como era
en el principio, siempre, por los siglos de los siglos. Amén. Crece la luz bajo tu hermosa mano, Padre celeste,
y suben los hombres
hombres matutinos al encuentro de Cristo primogénito.
en su amanecer ante tus ojos.
Y enalteció la aurora, cuando aún no estaba el hombre sobre el mundo, para cantar. Él es el principio y fin del universo, y el tiempo en su caída se acoge al que es la fuerza de las cosas, y en él rejuvenece. Él es quien nos reanima y fortalece, y hace posible el himno, que ante las maravillas de tus manos contamos jubilosos. He aquí la nueva luz que asciende y busca su cuerpo misterioso. He aquí en la claridad de la mañana el signo de tu rostro. Envía, Padre eterno, sobre el mundo el soplo de tu Hijo, potencia de tu diestra y primogénito de todos los que mueren. Amén.
Despierta, cítara y arpa, despertaré a la aurora. Misericordia, Dios mío, misericordia.
Que mi alma se refugia en ti, me refugio a la sombra de tus alas, mientras pasa la calamidad.
Invoco al Dios Altísimo, al Dios que hace tanto por mí. Desde el cielo me enviará la salvación, confundirá a los que hacían matarme, y enviará su gracia y su lealtad.
Estoy echado entre leones, devoradores de hombres. Sus dientes son lanzas y flechas, su lengua es una espada afilada.
Elévate sobre el cielo, Dios mío, y llene la tierra su gloria.
Han tendido una red a mis pasos para que sucumbiera. Me han cavado delante una fosa, pero han caído en ella.
Mi corazón está firme, Dios mío, mi corazón está firme. Voy a cantar y a tocar. Despierta, gloria mía. Despertad, cítara y arpa. Despertaré a la aurora.
Te daré gracias ante los pueblos, Señor. Tocaré para ti ante las naciones, por tu bondad que es más grande que los cielos, por tu fidelidad que alcanza a las nubes.
Elévate sobre el cielo, Dios mío, y llene la tierra de tu gloria. Gloria al Padre, al Hijo y al Espíritu Santo,
como era en el principio, ahora y siempre, por los siglos de los siglos. Amén.
Despertad, cítara y arpa, despertaré a la aurora.
Mi pueblo se saciará de mis bienes, dice el Señor. Escuchad, pueblos, la palabra del Señor, anunciadlas a las islas remotas. El que dispersó a Israel lo reunirá, lo guardará como un pastor a su rebaño, porque el Señor redimió a Jacob, lo
rescató de una mano más fuerte.
Vendrán con aclamaciones a la altura de Sión, afluirán hacia los bienes del Señor, hacia el trigo y el vino y el aceite, y los rebaños de ovejas y de vacas. Mas será como un huerto regado, y no volverá a desfallecer.
Entonces se alegrará la doncella en la danza, gozarán los jóvenes y los viejos. Convertiré su tristeza en gozo, los alegraré y aliviaré sus penas. Alimentaré a los sacerdotes con manjares sustanciosos, y mi pueblo se saciará de mis bienes.
Gloria al Padre, al Hijo y al Espíritu Santo,
como era en el principio, ahora y siempre, por los siglos de los siglos. Amén. Mi pueblo se saciará de mis bienes, dice el Señor.
Grande es el Señor y muy digno de alabanza en la ciudad de nuestro Dios. Grande es el Señor y muy digno de alabanza en la ciudad de nuestro Dios.
Su monte santo, altura hermosa, alegra de toda la tierra.
El monte Sión, vértice del cielo, ciudad del gran Rey. Entre sus palacios, Dios descuella como un alcázar.
Mirad, los reyes se aliaron para atacarla juntos, pero al verla quedaron aterrados y huyeron despavoridos.
Allí los agarró un temblor y dolores como de parto, como un viento del desierto que destroza las naves de Tarsis.
Lo que habíamos oído lo hemos visto en la ciudad del Señor de los ejércitos, en la ciudad de nuestro Dios, que Dios la ha fundado para siempre.
Oh Dios, meditamos tu misericordia en medio de tu pueblo, que tu renombre, oh Dios, tu alabanza llegue al confín de la tierra.
Tu diestra está llena de justicia, el monte Sión se alegra, las ciudades de Judá se gozan con tus sentencias.
Da la vuelta en torno a Sión, contando sus terreones. Fijaos en sus baluartes, observar sus palacios.
Para poder decirle próxima generación, este es el Señor nuestro Dios. Él nos guiará por siempre jamás.
Gloria al Padre, y al Hijo, y al Espíritu Santo.
Como era en el principio, ahora y siempre, por los siglos de los siglos. Amén.
Grande es el Señor y muy digno de alabanza en la ciudad de nuestro Dios.
Así dice el Señor: el cielo es mi trono y la tierra el estrado de mis pies. ¿Qué templo podéis construirme? ¿O qué lugar para mi descanso? Todo esto lo hicieron mis manos, todo es mío, oráculo del Señor. En ese pondré mis ojos, en el humilde, en el abatido que se estremece ante mis palabras. Te invoco de todo corazón, respóndeme, Señor.
Te invoco de todo corazón, respóndeme, Señor.
Guardaré tus leyes.
Respóndeme, Señor.
Gloria al Padre, al Hijo y al Espíritu Santo.
Te invoco de todo corazón, respóndeme, Señor.
Sirvamos al Señor con santidad y nos librará de la mano de nuestros enemigos. Bendito sea el
Señor, Dios de Israel,
porque ha visitado y redimido a su pueblo, suscitándonos una fuerza de salvación en la casa de David su siervo, según lo había predicho desde antiguo, por boca de sus santos profetas. Es la salvación que nos libra de nuestros enemigos y de la mano de todos los que nos odian. Ha realizado así la misericordia que tuvo con nuestros padres, recordando su santa alianza y el juramento que juró a nuestro padre Abraham, para concedernos que, libres de temor, arrancados de la mano de los enemigos, le sirvamos con santidad y justicia en su presencia todos nuestros días. Y a ti, niño, te llamarán profeta del Altísimo, porque irás delante del Señor a preparar sus caminos, anunciando a su pueblo la salvación, el perdón de sus pecados. Por la entrañable misericordia de nuestro Dios, nos visitará el sol que nace de lo alto, para iluminar a los que viven en tiniebla y en sombra de muerte, para guiar nuestros pasos por el camino de la paz. Gloria al Padre, y al Hijo, y al Espíritu Santo, como era en el principio, ahora y siempre, por los siglos de los siglos. Amén.
Sirvamos al Señor con santidad y nos librará de la mano de nuestros enemigos.
Demos gracias a Cristo que nos ha dado la luz del día y supliquémosle diciendo: bendícenos y santifícanos, Señor. Tú que te entregaste como víctima por nuestros pecados, acepta los deseos y las acciones de este día.
Bendícenos y santifícanos, Señor.
Tú que nos alegras con la claridad del nuevo día, sé tú mismo el lucero brillante de nuestros corazones.
Bendícenos y santifícanos, Señor.
Haz que seamos bondadosos y comprensivos con los que nos rodean, para que logremos así ser imágenes de tu bondad.
Bendícenos y santifícanos, Señor.
En la mañana haznos escuchar tu gracia, y que tu gozo sea hoy nuestra fortaleza.
Bendícenos y santifícanos, Señor.
En silencio elevemos nuestras intenciones al Señor. Oremos. Bendícenos
y santifícanos, Señor.
Fieles a la recomendación del Salvador, digamos llenos de confianza filial: Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase tu voluntad en la tierra como en el cielo. Danos hoy nuestro pan de cada día. Perdona nuestras ofensas,
como también nosotros perdonamos a los que nos ofenden. No nos dejes caer en la tentación, y líbranos del mal.
Dios Todopoderoso y Eterno, humildemente acudimos a ti al empezar el día, a media jornada y al atardecer, para pedirte que, alejando de nosotros las tinieblas del pecado, nos hagas alcanzar la luz verdadera que es Cristo, que vive y reina contigo en la unidad del Espíritu Santo y es Dios, por los siglos de los siglos. Amén. El Señor nos bendiga, nos guarde de todo mal y nos lleve a la vida eterna. Amén. Bendigamos al Señor. Qué bien se está aquí en tu presencia, glorioso por siempre, Señor. Qué bien se está aquí en tu lado, sintiendo tu paz y tu amor. Cuán hermoso eres, Señor. Tú no tienes comparación. Quiero permanecer por siempre en tu amor. Qué bien se está aquí en tu presencia, glorioso por siempre, Señor. Qué bien se está aquí a tu lado, sintiendo tu paz y tu amor. Cuán hermoso eres, Señor. Tú no tienes comparación. Quiero permanecer por siempre en tu amor. Cuán hermoso eres, Señor. Tú no tienes comparación. Quiero permanecer por siempre en tu amor. Con todo mi corazón te adoro, Señor. Con todo mi corazón corazón te adoro, Señor, con todo mi corazón te adoro, Señor, con todo mi corazón te adoro, Señor. Cuán hermoso eres, Señor. Tú no tienes comparación. Quiero permanecer por siempre en tu amor. Qué bien se está aquí a tu lado.
Use PDF Filler to edit documents anytime, anywhere, from any device. Add text anywhere in the document. Use the eraser tool to erase anything on the form. It's even easy to add a signature by drawing, typing, uploading, or using your webcam. When you're finished, just click Done to save and export.
During the 2008 financial crisis, the stock market fell 37%, yet one man, hedge fund manager Larry Benedict, posted 23% gains. He delivered $95 million in pure profit to his clients. In the first half of 2022, he did it again. During the worst market in 50 years, those following his work saw double and triple-digit growth. What's his secret? As you'll discover, Larry doesn't invest the traditional way. His approach has nothing to do with buy and hold, and it flies in the face of everything a financial planner would ever tell you. In today's interview, he's agreed to come forward and reveal his unique method, including the name of the ticker symbol you need to get started. Larry Benedict, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, Larry, you're one of the few dozen people in the entire world to earn the label Market Wizard. I know you don't like to brag, but in fact, a whole chapter was written about you in the best-selling series Market Wizards. We actually have the book right there. There you are, right after billionaire Ray Dalio. But from what I understand, your approach is different than Dalio, Paul Tudor Jones, or any other wizard.
That's right. It's unlike anything you've probably ever seen. I call it the one-ticker retirement plan. But put simply, it's designed to help you make all the money you need in any market using just one ticker.
Okay, now Larry, I'm sure those watching at home are thinking, really? Just one ticker? That's impossible.
I know. I don't blame you for being skeptical, but I've been using this strategy for years, decades even. As a hedge fund manager, it's helped me deliver millions to my clients year after year in all market conditions, and I continue to use it today.
Well, I've heard about your historic run on Wall Street. From 1990 to 2010, you were perfect. During a period that included both the 2000 and 2008 crashes, you never had a single losing year. In fact, you did so well that your firm Banyan Capital made Barron's list of most successful hedge funds. You can see it on your screen, folks. Larry's hedge fund was ranked 36th in the entire world. Considering there are over 10,000 hedge funds, that puts it in the top 1%. That's so impressive. But all that said, Larry, you're a legit market wizard. What about folks, well, like me, who don't have a 6 or 7 figure bankroll? Is this something we can do too?
Yes, that's why I'm here today, Kim. You don't need to be a hedge fund manager to use this approach. Everyday folks can do this too.
I like hearing that. And you brought some examples with you. These are everyday people who are using different versions of your one ticker blueprint. We have a few on the screen. Chris N says, I made $12K within 3 hours. I get the feeling that Larry's strategy is the only thing I will need to retire comfortably. Thanks, Larry, for taking the decision to help common people. Rod R says, over 800%. That's my biggest 24-hour trade I've had in over 20 years. Thanks, Larry. Those are some of the biggest short-term gains I've ever seen, Larry. Obviously, everyone's experience will be different, but there are many more stories just like these.
These people aren't market wizards, Kim. As you will see, I have designed this strategy for everyone. You don't need a big nest egg to get started.
And this is true even in today's crazy market. You're not worried? There's no chance your luck is going to start running out?
One good trade is luck, Kim. Decades of proven success in good and bad markets. That's not luck. During 2008, I had one of my best years of my life. During the pandemic, I made $2 million in a single month. And this year, my one-ticker traders are crushing it in the market.
Wow, well, I'm excited to get to the bottom of this, Larry. If this approach is everything you claim it to be, this could be a game changer for anybody at or near retirement. We're talking about a recession-proof strategy designed for everyone that's proven to work in bull and bear markets, which you believe could give folks all the money they need for a comfortable retirement. Folks, Larry's agreed to give you the full story. While most folks are losing money, Those following his work have had the chance to make money almost every week. He'll reveal exactly how his strategy works. He'll lay out his track record. He'll reveal the ticker you can start using right now. And you've even agreed to perform an over-the-shoulder demonstration a little later. Isn't that right?
That's right. I've got my phone with me, and I will show you how to use my method right here on camera. It only takes a few seconds. You could start making money as early as today.
Well, great news. And is your ticker a name our viewers will recognize?
I think most people will be surprised, Kim.
Well, I should also mention, Larry's also agreed to give us his latest forecast. At the beginning of 2022, Larry told a reporter all the indexes will be negative for the year. That prediction was spot on. What's more, he's one of the few people to call the 2020 crash. He warned about it a month in advance and showed everyday folks how to profit. But now he has an even bigger and more important forecast. He's sharing it here for the first time. You'll get it a little later in the program. And on that note, let's get right into your one ticker strategy. Larry, how does it work and how did you discover it?
Well, it's funny. I discovered it by getting fired.
Wait a minute, getting fired?
Yes, you see, I've been a professional trader for more than 30 years. I've had a great career on Wall Street, but I got off to a rocky start. In my first 2 years, I got fired more times than I could count.
Seriously, you? I mean, given where you ended up, that's really surprising to hear.
Yeah, it's funny to look back on it, but at the time it was very upsetting. I would get hired, start trading, lose money over and over again. No matter what I did, nothing worked.
So then what changed?
Well, eventually I realized what I was missing. It was specialization. I was trying to trade everything. The latest hot stock, the latest trading fad. I was like a chicken with my head cut off.
So you decided to focus on just one thing?
Exactly. That became my new approach. Forgetting about 99% of all stocks, forgetting about the latest fad, finding one thing and sticking to it.
Okay, one thing, stick to it. It doesn't really get much more specialized than that.
It doesn't, and it changed everything for me. Before long, I was making $1,000 a day, then $10,000 in a day, then 100, and so on and so on.
Wow, that's fascinating. So I take it that specialization is the first component of your strategy.
Yes, my strategy boils down to 2 rules. Number 1, diversification is for dummies.
Okay, now wait a minute. I got to push back just a little bit on that, Larry. I've done some research on this, and you look at any mainstream source, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, the financial section of the New York Times, they all preach diversification. It's one of the oldest mantras in finance.
Well, let me ask you, how is that working out for everybody?
Well, yeah, I've looked at my 401k lately, and fair point, it really doesn't look all that good.
Look at the results of diversification.
Oh my goodness. As much as $3 trillion in retirement savings has been wiped out this year.
3 trillion, Kim. That's a 3 followed by 12 zeros.
And all the major 401k plans have seen losses this year?
Every single one. I think about all these poor people. They did everything right. They worked hard, saved, diversified, and now their savings is starting to disappear. This is happening all across America.
It's really so sad. We can see it on the screen there. 25% of Americans now say they'll have to delay retirement.
We're talking millions of people. And you know why? The diversification model. It is crushing people. That's why I'm coming forward today. There is a better way.
But let me ask you, is it fair to judge the system during a market like this? These are pretty unusual times. Historically speaking, the traditional retirement method has worked pretty well, right?
No, that's one of the biggest myths out there. Just look at the numbers.
Okay, we're looking at the S&P 500's long-term performance. This century, it's delivered around 7% per year. So at this rate, it would take you, 36 years to turn $100,000 into $1 million retirement. Is that true? Wait a minute. 36 years?
Yes, and that doesn't even account for inflation. If you factor that in, it's probably about 50 years.
Oh my goodness, half a century?
Maybe that works if you're in your 20s, but if you're near retirement age, no way. Compare that to my strategy. As you will see, it is possible to make decades worth of gains in a matter of days.
Wow, I had no idea it took so long, Larry. No wonder we're in a retirement crisis.
I was lucky. I realized this as a young trader. You see, Wall Street figured this out a long time ago. At a big Wall Street firm, they would never tell you to trade everything. It was all about specialization. Get this, when I was at Spear, Leeds and Kellogg, I specialized in a single index, the XMI.
So all you did was trade that index?
Yes, all day, every day. It was my entire focus.
Wow, Spear Leeds was one of the most successful trading firms in the world, Larry. You were one of their top guys. Is it common to have such a narrow focus?
Yes, on Wall Street it is. Everyone is a specialist. You have foreign currency traders, equity traders, oil traders, you even have grain traders.
And let me ask, why do they do it that way?
Think about it. When you only trade one asset, you get to know it really well. You start to understand how it moves, you detect patterns. Most importantly, you figure out how to make money from it in all markets. The proof is in the chart, Kim.
And we're looking at a chart of Wall Street trading revenue. Wow. Wall Street's making tens of billions of dollars from trading every year. Is this how they make so much money in good markets and bad?
Yes, it is so important. Please remember this. As a trader, there are no bad markets. Billions of dollars are up for grabs every year, even years like this.
Well, forget about billions. If I could just grab a few $1,000s a month from that $50 billion pile, I'd be more than happy.
You can. With a targeted trading strategy, that's 100% possible. You don't need to put off retirement. You don't have to wait for the next raging bull market. You can make money in any market.
Okay, you've got me excited here. Well, I suppose you would know too, Larry, because during your time at Spear, Leeds, and Kellogg, you went an entire decade without a single losing year. Partway through your tenure, the company opened up a new trading department. They put you in charge and named you special limited partner. Eventually, you and your colleagues were making the firm so much money that the company was bought out by Goldman Sachs. Clearly, this focused approach really has worked for you and your Wall Street colleagues. But what about others, Larry? Is anybody else using this type of approach?
Yes, it's not just Wall Street. Many of the best investors use a targeted approach. Take Warren Buffett.
Really? I thought his firm, Berkshire Hathaway, was diversified across a wide range of businesses.
Read this quote from Buffett, Kim. It's shocking.
It says, if it's your game, diversification doesn't make sense. It's crazy to put money into your 20th choice rather than your first choice. It's the LeBron James analogy. If you have basketball phenom LeBron James on your team, don't take him out of the game just to make room for someone else. Wow, I had no idea Buffett felt that way.
And here's another one.
He says diversification is protection against ignorance. It makes little sense if you know what you're doing. And does he practice what he preaches?
Absolutely. Around 2/3 of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio is invested in just 4 stocks. You see this over and over, Kim. Look at the bond king, Bill Gross. He became a billionaire just by trading bonds. Or even Peter Thiel, who made over $1 billion in one stock, Facebook. There are so many examples of this. That's why my first rule is focus on one ticker.
Well, now I know you're going to discuss the name of that ticker in a moment, but first, tell us about rule number 2.
Well, rule number 2 is use options.
Now, Larry, okay, you know, the mention of that word sends a chill down a lot of people's spines.
I know. Most people have been told you are not cut out to trade options.
Right.
Leave it to the professionals, but I would say that that isn't true.
You think that's garbage?
Yes. Listen, I've been trading options since the 80s. I got my start in the trading pits of the CBOE. It's the largest U.S. options exchange, and I've been trading options ever since. Here's what I can tell you. Options are a dream come true for everyday folks, especially in a crazy market environment.
And why is that?
Because options work whether stocks go up or down. All it takes is a small move in the stock in either direction to potentially see huge gains.
Really? That's all it takes, just a small move?
Yes, on November 1st. I recommended an option trade. Over the next month, the underlying stock soared as high as 18%.
In a month? I mean, that's not a small move, Larry. That's a big one.
It is, but guess what? The option delivered a 300% gain in just 4 days. In other words, my readers had the chance to make 16 times more money in a fraction of the time.
Now, is that an extreme example?
No, not at all. Look at a trade I issued. This time, the underlying stock fell 5%.
And what did your option recommendation deliver on that one?
Well, on that one, we made 120% in just 9 days. That's the power of options. They have created a multiplier effect.
So in other words, an option can take a small move in either direction and multiply it by 5 times, 10 times, even 20 times or more. You can potentially make hundreds, thousands, and in your case, millions of dollars very quickly.
That's right. And with my one-ticker retirement plan, I have made it as easy as possible. All you have to do is focus on one ticker.
So then you can forget about all the different market sectors. You can ignore earnings reports, Fed announcements, those talking heads on CNBC. The only thing you have to pay attention to is one ticker.
Exactly. Like I said, I've been using options and other supposedly complex trading tools for decades. They have helped me see massive returns.
Wow, 286%, 327%, even 703% in a matter of days.
Those type of gains are almost impossible to get any other way. That's why when I launched my hedge fund, I built it around options. It made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I'll say, like I said before, Larry's fund was ranked in the top 1% in the entire world. His performance was so good that he developed an international following. Your clients included the Royal Bank of Canada, the Bank of New York, and even the Saudi National Commercial Bank, among others.
Yeah, at the peak, I was managing about $800 million.
And yet you walked away from your hedge fund and shifted to helping everyday folks. Why?
Look, I was glad I was able to make money for these folks, but a few years ago, my mission changed. I got tired of helping the banks, the richest people in the world, and all I wanted to do was help everyday folks, real people who needed the help the most. So I started sharing my secrets with them. It's worked out great so far.
I'll say. Let's go through that, Larry. I want our viewers to see how it's working with real, everyday people just like them. Now, with your strategy, it's not the exact same ticker over and over again, year after year, is it?
No, what I do is focus on one ticker at a time. That's the secret. Here's how it works. I zero in on a ticker. I use it for a period of time, a month or two, maybe even more. Then when conditions change, I shift to a different one.
Okay, and can you give us some examples? We want to see this in action.
Sure, I zeroed in on ticker QQQ.
Isn't that the NASDAQ?
Right, it's a fund that tracks the NASDAQ. This is one of my favorite trading tickers. I've been recommending it for years, including this one.
That's surprising. The NASDAQ's been awful. Didn't it have its worst first half of the year ever?
It did, and for most people, it's been a disaster. But that's where my strategy comes in. In January, I recommended a QQQ trade 4 times. Each time, it was a winner.
Wow. You delivered gains like 31% in 24 hours, 106% in 3 days, 50% in 2 days, and more. So let me get this straight. During a tech meltdown, you used a fund that tracks the NASDAQ to deliver gains as high as 106% in 3 days. Your readers had the chance to more than double their money.
Isn't it great, Kim? Had I followed the so-called retirement experts, my readers would have seen double-digit losses. Instead, they could have made $5,000 or $10,000 from a fairly modest investment. Let me show you another example. I saw an opportunity in ticker MARA, Mara.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
It's a cryptocurrency miner. It's one of the few public companies that mines Bitcoin.
Larry, crypto's been all over the place. Earlier this year, people were saying that it was going through a Lehman Brothers moment. In this market, you were able to make money from a crypto play?
I recommended Mara 3 times. Once again, each one was a winner. You could have made as much as 98% in a month.
Another doubler. So none of those macroeconomic headwinds mattered, right? As crypto crashed, you kept making money from it? Your readers had the chance to make hundreds, thousands of dollars over and over again?
That's right. None of it mattered, Kim. Remember, we're not investing. the usual way. This isn't a buy and hold strategy. We don't have to ride out bear markets. We're making money now, even when the market falls.
And is this kind of performance normal? I mean, you must miss some trades, right?
Of course, no strategy is foolproof, including mine. But with a targeted approach, your win rate can skyrocket.
We can see some examples on the screen. You've gone 3 for 3 with AAPL, 4 for 5 with ARKK, 4 for 4 with VLO, and more. And you've seen gains like 79% in 3 days, 61% in 2 days, 120% in 11 days, and on and on and on.
Well, let me put these gains in perspective for you. Look at the 120% winner. Do you know how long it would take to make that following the market?
I'm guessing a pretty long time. How long?
Well, more than a decade for sure.
Wow, and your readers had a chance to do that in just 11 days.
Yeah, imagine how that impacts your life, Kim.
Right, I'm thinking about all of those people delaying retirement right now. This would be life-changing for them. Instead of pushing the date farther back, they could actually move it forward. But what about the workload? How much time does this really take?
Well, that's the best part, Kim. With this method, you get to enjoy your life. We're talking about a few trades a month. That's it. You get in, get your money, and get out.
In and out. So this is something folks could do part-time?
Absolutely. Listen, we only live once. No one should be a slave to Fed announcements, to so-called breaking news on CNBC. You should be able to travel, spend time with your family. Again, with my approach, all of this can be possible. Just focusing on one ticker.
So as long as you're up to speed on that ticker, you can forget about everything else. I love it.
Exactly. You see why I'm so passionate about this approach, Kim?
I am. I do. Yeah.
Listen, we're not breaking new ground here. Elite Wall Street traders have been using this approach for years to make billions. We are simply taking a page out of the same playbook.
So why haven't I heard about this before?
Think about it, Kim. If CNBC only talked about one stock, what would happen to their ratings? Can you imagine them saying, look, the truth is you can ignore 99% of all stocks?
No, I can't. Fair point. Their whole business model is getting you worked up about every little thing.
Exactly. They could never promote a simple approach like this. They go bankrupt. Same with Fidelity, E-Trade, and Robinhood, and all the rest. They want you trading everything. That's how they make money. That's why this approach remains a secret.
I just can't believe that you're able to deliver in this market. I know I keep harping on that, but it seems too good to be true. I mean, I've seen people calling this a lost year. But according to your results, your readers have had the chance to make money hand over fist.
I haven't even shown you the best results yet.
Really? There's more?
Listen to this. I have one high-end newsletter where we focus exclusively on one ticker.
One ticker the entire time?
The entire time. It's the only service of its kind as far as I know. Now, before I show you the results, please keep in mind, if you are just getting started, I don't recommend that you make this many trades.
So this is more advanced trading?
For sure. You probably want to start small and build up.
Okay.
That said, the win rates we have seen through this service are unbelievable.
Okay, well, this I need to see.
Jump back to May. As you may recall, May was awful.
Right. The Fed hiked interest rates, the crypto market crashed, and the stock market was all over the place.
Yeah, at one point the S&P was down 6%. Most folks didn't make a cent. But guess what? The first week of the month, I recommended a single ticker over and over, and we went 9 for 9.
So every single trade was a winner?
Every one. You could have doubled your money 9 separate times.
Wow, I'm trying to imagine that, Larry. Doubling my money 9 straight times in this market? Check my math here. A run like that turns a series of $1,000 trades into $9,000, or $10,000 trades into $90,000 in a week.
That's right. Isn't that pretty amazing?
It really is. And I'm thinking of the millions of folks who've seen nothing but red this year. In 1 week, they could have made up for all of those losses and then some. But tell me, was this a fluke?
I don't think so. Jump back to April.
Another terrible month.
That's right. From beginning to end, the S&P lost 9%. But not my readers. I showed them how to make money every single week.
Wait, anybody who followed your recommendations could have grown their wealth 33%? 33% growth, while the market lost 9%?
Think about what that means. Do that every month. That's 400% for the year.
And in a bear market, too.
Obviously, I'm not guaranteeing that,
Right.
but you get the point. With this approach, no matter what's going on, it is possible to compound your wealth quickly.
So we're looking at a snapshot of some of your week-long win streaks. March, 11 for 12, a 92% win rate. February, 8 for 8. January, 6 for 8. December, 13 for 14. November, 6 for 7, and on and on. Of course, we all know the past doesn't equal the future, but wow, it's hard to argue with that kind of success.
This is the best way to make money in the market, Kim. Even if you only trade a few times a month, the money can add up fast. You could be looking at thousands of dollars every month with plenty of time to enjoy your life.
Well, that sure sounds better than managing dozens of stocks, shorting, trying to time the bottom, or really any other approach I hear people promoting right now.
It's so much better than that, Kim. That's why everyday folks are loving it. Look at these results.
And we have a few more examples. Todd wrote, this morning at 9:40 a.m., I'm at Lowe's buying stuff to paint my house and check E-Trade on my phone while I'm in the store. I made over $7,000. I quickly closed out the positions in the store and smiled as I checked out. Thank you, Larry. After a recommendation, Polly said, well done, please keep them coming. You now have my attention and I am on the alert now for all of your recommendations. Thank you. Wow, those are amazing.
Again, these are not professionals, Kim. Anybody can get started right now, even if they have very little experience. It only takes a few seconds to place a trade. Here, let me show you.
Oh, all right. Let's see.
So I go to my brokerage account.
Okay.
And I'm looking for the most active option, which is the E-mini S&P.
Okay.
I hit my options montage.
All right.
And
only a couple clicks so far.
And I click in. And I press that, and I just placed a buy order that was executed.
Okay, really, just a few clicks, that's it, you're done.
Yes, it's simplistic.
So really, what was that, 10, 15 seconds? I mean, you weren't kidding, that is super fast.
That's all it takes, Kim. With that one maneuver, you are ready to go. As we head into a long-term down market, you are ready to make profits.
So is that your forecast? You believe we're headed for a serious rough patch?
Yes, I believe all indexes will be flat to negative for a long time. We've just come off of 10 years of plenty. Now we're looking at 5 years of potential famine.
And I know you've written a lot about inflation and interest rates. Earlier this year, you accurately predicted that the Fed would issue a series of rate hikes. Is that what you think is going to cause this prolonged bear market?
Yes, I think we're about to see a repeat of the 70s and early 80s, Kim.
Okay, what happened then?
Well, that was a terrible time for investors. It was very similar to what we're seeing today. Inflation was rampant, so the Fed issues a series of rate hikes to tamp down inflation. This combination created wild volatility.
We're looking at it on the chart there. Wow, you are right. Look at those violent swings. It's exactly like what we've seen so far this year, and it took years for the market to recover. You're predicting something similar?
That's right. I think we're about to see the same thing all over again. Those who aren't prepared could lose a lot of money.
And yet, you don't seem worried at all.
I've lived through times like this before. My one-ticker strategy is perfect for what is about to come.
So the big question, Larry, is which ticker are you recommending right now?
Okay, here it is.